Montezuma Castle and Montezuma Well are remarkable historical sites that are accessible to visitors of all ages and abilities, offering a unique opportunity to connect with the ancient heritage of the Southwest. Both sites feature paved pathways, informative signage, and viewing areas that make it easy for everyone to experience their beauty and significance. I'm usually visiting places that take a bit of effort to get to, but these two sites can be accessed by anyone. Come check it out! Montezuma Castle, located in central Arizona near Camp Verde, is one of the best preserved cliff dwellings in North America. Hello, back in central Arizona again in the Verde Valley, visiting two major sites that are very popular and very well developed, Montezuma's Castle and Montezuma's Well. They're pretty amazing sites and have been viewed by visitors for decades and decades. They've got well-developed parking areas, picnic areas, and visitor center, and are definitely worth seeing if you're in the area. Montezuma's Castle is located right along Beaver Creek, just before it feeds into the Verde River, which is just about the last permanently flowing river in Arizona these days. All the other ones have kind of dried up and become seasonal. This site has a nice visitor center with a small museum offering interesting information about the area. It was built and inhabited by the Sinagua people, a pre-Columbian culture that thrived in the region from around 1100 to 1425 Common Era. Here's a display, I think created by LiDAR, showing the interior of Montezuma's Castle, since visitors aren't allowed to enter it. Nice to see what's inside. The castle likely served as a communal dwelling and possibly a ceremonial or administrative center for the local population. The 5-story structure, containing about 20 rooms, is nestled into a limestone cliff approximately 90 feet above the valley floor. Its strategic location provided natural protection from floods and enemies, while also offering access to nearby water sources like Beaver Creek for farming and daily needs. Montezuma Castle reflects their architectural ingenuity, as it was constructed using local materials like limestone, mud, and wooden beams. The Sinagua people were known for their adaptability and trade connections, which extended across the Southwest and into Mesoamerica. Despite its name, the site has no connection to the Aztec Emperor Montezuma. The misnaming was a result of early European American settlers' assumptions and romanticized ideas about Native American history. Montezuma Castle was abandoned around the early 1400s, likely due to environmental changes, resource depletion, and social shifts, though the exact reason remains unclear. The site came to the attention of European Americans in the late 1800s and soon attracted tourists and archaeologists alike.
Imagine yourself visiting here over 7 centuries ago and receiving an invitation into this cliff-dwelling home. What you would have seen might well have been something like this cutaway model of Montezuma Castle. On the top floor, the elderly village lookout keeps his solitary vigil. His eyes search for approaching danger to those working the fields below the castle. It seems that over the ages, children and their actions change very little. On the 4th floor, you'll find a concerned mother scurrying to reach her adventuresome son, precariously balanced on the edge of the roof. On the 3rd floor, an aging man leads his blind wife across the balcony. You'll also meet women busily preparing food, getting supplies from storerooms, making pottery and grinding corn. Usually women ground the corn, their staple food, only in small as-needed quantities and prepared it in various ways. Weavers used the second floor loom to weave cotton breechcloths, bags, and blankets. Today, you can see examples of their varied weaving patterns in the visitor center. Villagers used the wooden ladders as stairways to carry up provisions from fields and water from Beaver Creek. On the ledge at the base of the central tower-like section, a man prepares to start a fire using a friction drill. Nearby, a young woman awaits the returning hunters who bring wild game as variety to the village diet. We encourage you to think beyond ancient stone walls and vacant rooms to the remains of a once vibrant village, a village of people who experienced wants and needs, anxieties and fears, joys and sorrows, just as you and I today.
In 1906, President Theodore Roosevelt designated Montezuma Castle as one of the first 4 national monuments under the Antiquities Act, recognizing its cultural and historical significance. Today it is managed by the National Park Service and continues to be a vital link to the ancient heritage of the American Southwest. And like every good national park visitor center, it's got a well-stocked souvenir shop to check out on your way out.
It doesn't fall open. Thank you.
Montezuma Well, located just a few miles from Montezuma Castle in central Arizona, is a unique geological and cultural feature that has long been important to the indigenous peoples of the region. The well is a natural limestone sinkhole formed by the collapse of a cavern, and it is constantly replenished by underground springs, which pump over 1 million gallons of water into it each day. The Sinagua people began using the well around 1000 Common Era, engineering an intricate system of irrigation canals to divert water to their crops, an impressive feat of early water management in the arid landscape. The unique aquatic ecosystem inside the well, which includes species found nowhere else in the world, only adds to the sense of mystery and reverence surrounding the site. The well was more than just a water source. It held spiritual and cultural significance for various indigenous communities. Several ancient cliff dwellings and pit houses can still be seen along the rim of the well, suggesting it may have been a sacred site or a place of gathering. The Yavapai and Hopi tribes, among others, consider Montezuma Well to be part of their ancestral homelands, and some regard it as a place of emergence or spiritual origin. After the Sinagua people left the area in the early 1400s, the well continued to be known and visited by other native groups. It caught the attention of European American settlers in the 1800s, and later archaeologists who recognized its cultural and historical value. Like Montezuma Castle, Montezuma Well was incorporated into the Montezuma Castle National Monument when it was established in 1906. Today, the National Park Service preserves and protects the site, offering visitors a glimpse into the ingenuity and spiritual life of the ancient peoples of the Southwest. Scattered around the rims and cliffs of Montezuma Well are the ruins of ancient structures left behind by the Sinagua people. These ruins include cliff dwellings, pit houses, and remnants of stone walls that once formed a part of a thriving community. While these ancient ruins offer a window into the lives of the Sinagua, another layer of history is etched into the landscape in the form of cowboy graffiti. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, local ranchers and cowboys frequented the area and left their marks on the site literally. Names, initials, and dates were carved or scratched onto the rock walls, often with little regard for the cultural and historical value of the ruins. Though these markings are now considered vandalism, they have become part of the site's layered story, offering a glimpse into the rugged, lawless character of the American frontier era, while today such acts would be illegal and strongly discouraged. The cowboys' marks remain as a historical artifact in their own right, bridging the gap between the indigenous people of the past and the pioneer era. The Sinagua engineered sophisticated irrigation systems using the well's outflow, channeling water to nearby fields, and showcasing their remarkable ingenuity in adapting to the arid desert environment. Today, the National Park Service works diligently to protect both the ancient ruins and the more recent historical markings at Montezuma Well. Interpretive signs and ranger-led talks help visitors understand the importance of preserving cultural heritage while respecting the different peoples who have called this site home over the centuries. The presence of both ancient dwellings and cowboy graffiti reminds us that Montezuma Well is not just a snapshot of one moment in time, it's a living record of human presence, adaptation, and expression across hundreds of years. The steps are pretty steep coming down, but what we're going to see is like worth it. This canal down here, you see the water flowing in, was originally dug by the Native Americans and comes from the outlet of the well, the Montezuma's Well. Montezuma Castle and Montezuma Well hold deep spiritual significance for several Native American tribes, including the Hopi, Yavapai, and Apache, who regard these sites as sacred ancestral places. Montezuma Castle, with its cliffside perch, is believed to have ceremonial or symbolic purposes within the community. Montezuma Well, in particular, is seen by some tribes as a place of emergence or origin where life itself is said to have begun. The constant flow of water from the well's hidden spring and its mysterious, self-contained ecosystem contributes to its sacred aura, making it a powerful symbol of life, renewal, and connection to the spiritual world. Today, these sites continue to be honored not just for their historical significance, but for their enduring cultural and spiritual importance.